Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. So, I apologize, I haven't made a video in a while. That was for a couple of reasons. For one thing, I was out of town for like 5 days actually. I was in the city, so I didn't have access to my computer, but also, I couldn't help myself. I beat BioShock Infinite on 1999 mode and got the Scavenger Hunt achievement. It kind of sucks to stop playing to make videos every hour or less, and I just couldn't help myself. I was having too much fun, so I just beat it. Went through it, beat it. But if nothing else, now I have a much better understanding of 1999 mode. I can give much better strategies, and I won't be quite as derpy, if nothing else. So from here on out, I will be at the same point I was in previous videos, but this is a new playthrough. This is a different playthrough. I have different gear equipped. I'm going to wind up using different weapons than I thought I would use, and I will show my build and everything in this video, so keep that in mind. And I think that's it.
If I could find some genuine lockpicks, I might be able to get this door open. I'm sure I saw some interesting things on the other side.
Seems right up your alley.
Keep a lookout.
I forgot to talk about this in a previous episode, but Elizabeth, in addition to her other many talents, can pick locks. Throughout the game, at least past the point that you get Elizabeth, you need to be on the lookout for lock picks so that you can essentially enter pseudo-secret areas, and I have maxed out salts, and I am now going to go for max shields because of a specific gear that I found after going through the game again. For now on, I would always recommend to go max salts, max shields, and everything else into health. Everything that's left over into health. Overall, I just think shields, well, overall I think salts are the most valuable because vigors are so incredibly powerful and useful, and they just make the game more fun. It allows you to utilize more and varied tactics and to approach different sequences in different ways. But I have just found the carbine. The carbine is a great primary weapon, though I won't be using it much. I don't really like it. I don't really like marksman weapons in general. Not a big fan of semi-auto rifles and burst rifles and sniper rifles and what have you, simply because my aim just isn't that great. Right here, I'm demonstrating that you can possess regular vendors, and that won't make things any cheaper, but they'll spew out a little money for you to use, which, when it comes down to it, probably isn't worth the cost in salts. You might make a small profit, or if there are salts lying around and you're about to leave the level, it might be worth it, but overall I probably wouldn't bother. You can steal stuff in Soldier's Field, and enemies will become hostile. You can steal from cash registers or this heater, which is a powerful Vox Populi shotgun. I would not recommend stealing the heater because you can get it later without expending precious ammo and salts.
Looks like this runs exclusively on Shock Jockey.
Of course it does. Where in the hell are we gonna find that?
Look! Come see the future of power at the Hall of Heroes.
Huh. Well, that's convenient.
Gentlemen, the false shepherd is loose in the streets of our fair city. Will you suffer the shame of allowing your wives and your daughters to fall prey to his machinations? Or will you act? Act for your womenfolk. Act for your profit. Act.
Okay, right here we're going to get into a combat sequence, and I'm going to demonstrate the carbine to an extent. There's a lot of ways you can go about killing these guys,
I'll be fine.
but the safest in my opinion, at least from my experiences, jumping up here. It gives you even ground, not low ground as you would normally. You're level with them. And it makes it really easy to line up headshots and take them out. And another reason why I don't like using weapons like the carbine is, as you can see here, I just don't really like sighting weapons. I don't like using the iron sights for weapons. In fact, I feel like I often will aim better without even bothering with iron sights. throughout this playthrough, and as I said before, I have now beaten 1999 mode. I couldn't help myself, I had to go through it. So I have gotten a lot of use out of the machine gun from that playthrough. So for the rest of this series, this playthrough slash guide, I will probably be focusing on the pistol, actually, something that I've been wanting to make good use of and seeing how effective it actually can be in the end game. Now, mind you, there doesn't seem to be a lot of pistol ammo in the end game, and I am, even though I now have the Scavenger Hunt achievement, I am forbidden from using dollar bill machines. And anyway, regardless, I wouldn't use dollar bill machines because that saves money to use on upgrades. I also, as I'm going to demonstrate here, I want to get some mileage out of the shotgun. The shotgun is difficult to use early on. It really, really benefits from some later vigors that we just don't have yet. For this episode and the next episode, I really won't be making much use of it, but I'm going to try to use it a bit later. But I would really like to put it through its paces, because close quarters combat in this game is just really, really fun, in my opinion. So that's done. Really easy, not a problem. And I talked about why I think salt should be your first priority, but I think shields should be your second because of that gear that we don't have yet that I'll show later, but also just because shields are infinite. They will always recharge, whereas health is finite. Once you start losing it, you don't get it back until you find food or medkits or something. So personally, I think shields are your better bet. Even with the kind of diminished returns you get, max shields is base health, which I don't really like that ratio, but still I'd recommend it, especially because of that gear that I can't reveal yet because we haven't found it. And also, another reason I was considering health is because late game, you can get a gear that lets you use health as salts if you're out of salts, but it's just not necessary at all, in my experience. And you get it so late game that it's just not worth it. So here I'm stealing some money, and I'm going to steal the heater. As I said, better to do it now. There's really no need for it in the combat we just went through, so really no point in stealing it, making everybody aggressive and wasting precious ammo and what have you. Another locked door over there. I just showed you guys where those salts were. Lockpick here. And we are about to kill a guy while he is taking a tinkle. Pew pew. He's dead. And there's one more guy here, and you really need to be careful of this guy because you start so close to him. He is a shotgunner, and as you saw in a previous episode, shotgunners do a lot of damage in close quarters. He would have taken out my shield and half of my health that close. I was hoping that I could kill him in the duration of that Murder of Crows stun, but it wore off before I could. And he's, of course, too smart to come through the doorway, so I'm going to sneakily approach and kill him with fire. Boom. And he's dead. Surprising amount of effort to kill one shotgun soldier, but it is what it is. Picking up those same salts from earlier, we're about to unlock this door.
Can you open this, Elizabeth?
That won't take.
And I'm showing lockpicks here and there, but I'm not going to show all of them. I considered showing all of them, but it really broke up the flow of the video. Instead, I'll just show them here and there when it makes sense to do so. Turret here, there's no reason to try to save it or possess it or anything. Just kill it. Very, very easy to kill it. Just use the awesome power of this corner. You could even move up a bit and just kind of duck and then stand up, duck and then stand up to break its line of sight. And another gear here. Gearhead, become harder to detect. I don't really see the point myself. Motorized Patriots, turrets, and Zeppelins are not hard to deal with. There's really no reason to bother with it. And I'm going to show my build now. So I already had the one gear I was referring to before. Storm is amazing. It makes Devil's Kiss, Bucking Bronco, and Shock Jockey chain. It just does an incredible amount of damage. Very, very powerful. You'll see that in effect later. Still using Eagle Strike, still using Ammo Advantage, and Urgent Care. Pair of pants that decreases your shield recharge delay, and it increases the rate at which they recharge. Very, 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 very powerful. I was actually quite lucky to get both Urgent Care and Storm early on. We're picking up Bucking Bronco here, by the way. But you can just find one of the random gears and reload over and over again to a checkpoint until you get the gears you want. So either way, you can either get lucky or just reload until you get what you want.
Press to launch your enemies into the air. Hold and release to create an eruptive trap.
Bucking Bronco, it basically levitates enemies in a cone, making them easy targets, making them vulnerable, and about to get into a big combat here.
Teach Cornelius Slate a lesson. How? I know you've all come to think of Slate as some kind of war hero, but let me be abundantly clear. Cornelius Slate is no hero! He's been living down in Frankton so long that the man has gone native! If Slate had his way, the damn collards and potato eaters would be up in Comstock House running Columbia! Or in your homes, copulating with your wives! Now, he has holed himself up in the Hall of Heroes. And it is our job to get him out, alive or dead. Once our gunships arrive, we're gonna storm the hall, clear them out, and have you all home in time for supper.
Okay, this is how I always deal with this fight. I start out by possessing this turret. I then will throw a Devil's Kiss at those guys, then jump up here, giving me high ground, then kill this guy with the Skyline Strike, and then run through this doorway. And there's a carbine here and salts if you'd like to utilize them. I will not. I also will then place a Devil's Kiss trap at that doorway. I should have placed it closer to the door, but I thought Elizabeth was a trooper, so I could have done that better. Well, they triggered it anyway, and it killed both of them. I'm going to probably place another one. Yep. You can also trap these staircases, but I prefer to trap the door. There's a little duder over there. Got him in the leg a couple of times. Blew up those guys. This is just a really easily defensible position. You can play very defensively if you'd like. I'm actually playing a tiny bit aggressively. I'm exposing myself for a little longer than I probably should. And I think I do eventually get my shields broken because of that, but it doesn't really matter. And here I'm making use of the pistol. For the basic broadsider, I don't really go for headshots. I just kind of spam it. I aim towards the head. I try to hit the head as much as possible, but I'm not going to carefully line up every shot. And I just find the weapon infinitely more enjoyable that way. It really does have a lot of ammo anyway. It's really more designed to be spammed, as I think I mentioned before. And here is one of my favorite uses of Bucking Bronco coming up. He's going to approach. And I learned my lesson from the previous Crow. I am going to actually use traps. And as I said before, I would be facing a Crow again. And there he goes. That's my favorite way of dealing with them.
Second thought. I think those tears of yours might come in handy next time we're in a scrape.
Well, there has to be a tear around for me to use. I can't just pull them out of thin air.
Just Bucking Bronco to neutralize him and then blow him up with whatever. I use the heater to kill him quickly, just 2 shots and dead. Normally the heater only has 1 shot before having to be reloaded, but I have ammo advantage, so that doubles it to 2. It's 75% increase, it just rounded up. RPG ammo there, I will be using the RPG later when I find it.
It's only fair they give me a cut of the profits, don't you think?
And in a second, we're going to find a Vox Populi codebook. We will find the cipher in just a little bit. There it is.
Oh, it's a codebook for a cipher. A secret message from the Vox Populi.
Secret codes?
The cipher should be around somewhere.
Okay. And like I said, I used the heater on that crow. I really didn't need to. I could have used other weapons. I just wanted to kill him and be done with it. Especially because I know I won't be able to hold on to the heater for much longer. And now we're going to upgrade some weapons. I already upgraded the clip size before, as you saw, of the pistol. And I'm now going to invest in an upgrade for the RPG, I believe. Damage boost 1. Yep. RPG is my go-to weapon for dealing with difficult enemies or large groups of enemies. It's very, very powerful, especially with Storm, because Storm doesn't just affect Devil's Kiss, the chaining effect, it affects any weapon that does fire damage. That includes the RPG, and I believe the heater, though I'm not 100% sure on that. It should, I would think, because it affects the RPG, but I don't really use the heater enough to know. And turret there that I forgot about killed it real easy. No problem. We are about to find the cipher that I was talking about, the Vox Populi cipher. There it is. And this is the clue to where the codebook is, but I already knew, so. Come on, Elizabeth.
Booker, look. That's what the codebook deciphers. I'm sure of it.
Huh.
Let's see. Tip the hat to the Vox.
Now we will find the secret chamber. You always want to find the codebooks of these ciphers, because they always give you some treasure. Some fat loots.
Tip of the hat.
Indeed. Want to hold on to this?
Great.
Okay. In here we have machine gun ammo, we have an infusion.
I've read about her. Books say she's out to tear Columbia from the sky.
Everybody's got a dream.
We have shotguns. Our first RPG, very important. Well, you don't really need it, but it's still nice to have. Another point into shields, as I said, straight shields from now on.
Doctor ordered.
There's a voxophone in here. Salts, lots of good stuff. So there we go, we got the RPG. We'll be using it in just a second, and I generally like to conserve it, but it doesn't really matter right now, so I'm going to just show it off. Couple guys. Boom! And right there you saw that kind of explosion, that almost nuclear lava cloud. That was from Storm. Normally it doesn't do that. That was the Storm chaining effect. And there we go. And again, the Storm chaining effect. A big part of 1999 difficulty, as it is in basically every single-player RPG out there, is just not knowing what's coming. That prior knowledge
You unlock this?
really makes everything quite easy, to be honest, to deal with. I'm never greatly threatened in any of, at least this footage. Things will get a little dicier later, but even then, just knowing what's coming is so helpful. And it's true of, again, like every single RPG, single-player RPG out there. It was a huge, huge component of insanity on Mass Effect 3 and making it rather simple to deal with. It's just, it's like a puzzle. Once you know what's coming, once you know the strategies for dealing with it, it's just execution. The execution, generally speaking, really isn't that hard. At least that's my opinion. Scavenger's Vest. Extra ammo upon death of enemies. This is actually one of the more interesting shirts I've found, but I would still prefer ammo advantage, at least as of right now. And here we have our first sniper to deal with.
Booker, sniper rifle. Ammo,
And
take
Elizabeth
it.
helpfully just happens to have a sniper rifle in her pocket to counter him. Hooray! This guy is the first and by far most difficult sniper to deal with in the entire game. And it's really just because he's in a really annoying position to shoot him. As you saw, I tried to counter him by using Murder of Crows. I did hit him, I believe. I don't know how I could have
Find that
missed,
shot jockey and get the hell out of here.
but it wasn't a headshot, so it didn't kill him. Then I finally saw that tiny speck of a head and managed to finish him off. After this, I just trapped those two stairwells, and this is really a nice sniping area. They have the high ground, but you have nice lanes of fire. And they're really stupid. They just stand there, wait for you to pop out so they can shoot you. And if you just kind of slowly weasel your way around a corner, like right here, and as I did previously, you can line up a headshot, just lazily line up a headshot. And take your time. Generally speaking, they're not going to duck into cover or anything. Right there, he did shoot me, so that interrupted my aim, but I'll get him. And it's either one headshot for these guys or two body shots. So if they are moving, just go for the body, hit them twice. The first shot will stagger them. It's easy to line up another one. This isn't a single shot rifle. It is bolt action, but it's not single shot. You can shoot enemies repeatedly. And with upgrades later on in the game, you reduce recoil. You, I believe, increase rate of fire. I know you increase damage. And right there, I thought he might move, so I just went with a couple of body shots, plus his head was partially blocked. I could have gotten a headshot there, though, if I was better, but I am not. Another guy there. Tip of the head. And I believe there's just one left. Right there. He has Stormtrooper aim. Goodbye. And that's it. That is Soldiers Field. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Please like the video if you liked it. Please sub if you'd like to see more. Leave comments, feedback, ask questions. I'll get back to you. This video is part of a playlist, so please check out the previous episodes in the series. Also check out my channel. I have lots and lots and lots of stuff. Hopefully you'll find something interesting there that you like. Yeah. Have a good one.